Hey fellow Star Wars fans, how about that new episode of The Mandalorian this weekend? Whoa!
I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher MCount though.
MCount? Are we talking about Midichlorians here? Well, if we are, that's going to be an interesting return to the screen for Midichlorians, especially since it seems to be a not insignificant plot point in the Mandalorian series. We did hear last season the client speaking to Dr. Pershing.
I don't care what it is. Extract the necessary material and be done with it.
And now, with the return of MCount or Midichlorian count, I'm very interested to see what happens. Now, guess what? Midichlorians have actually popped up on screen a few times. Now, most famously, they appeared in The Phantom Menace, first with Qui-Gon Jinn speaking over a communicator with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan?
Yes, Master.
I need an analysis of this blood sample I'm sending you.
Wait a minute.
I need a Midichlorian count.
The reading is off the chart. Over 20,000.
Even Master Yoda doesn't have a Midichlorian count that high.
No Jedi has.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
We next hear of Midichlorians when Qui-Gon Jinn addresses the Jedi Council.
I've encountered divergence in the Force.
A virgins, you say?
Located around a person?
A boy. His cells have the highest concentration of midichlorians I have seen in a life form. It is possible he was conceived by the midichlorians.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?
I don't presume to.
But you do.
And the most descriptive mention of Midichlorians occurs when Qui-Gon Jinn speaks about them to Anakin.
Master, sir, I heard Yoda talking about Midichlorians. I've been wondering, what are Midichlorians?
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
They live inside me.
Inside your cells, yes. And we are symbionts with them.
Symbionts?
Life forms living together for mutual advantage. Without the midichlorians, life could not exist, and we would have no knowledge of the Force. They continually speak to us, telling us the will of the Force. When you learn to quiet your mind, you'll hear them speaking to you.
I don't understand.
With time and training, Annie, you will. You will.
Now, after a strong backlash from fans, this term only appeared once more on the silver screen from this famous scene in Revenge of the Sith.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the Midichlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the dark side, he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
Now, while these are the only mentions on the silver screen of Midichlorians, it does get a few further mentions in Star Wars The Clone Wars, beginning with this seemingly joking, almost throwaway line in the 4th season episode, Deception.
Wow. I want to check his Midichlorian count.
Now, of course, this was a silly reference, but we actually get 2 serious references in back-to-back episodes in the 6th season of Star Wars The Clone Wars. The first being mentioned by Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost in the episode Voices.
Show yourself. Can you?
I cannot. My training was incomplete. All energy from the living force, from all things that have ever lived, feeds into the cosmic force, binding everything and communicating to us through the midichlorians. Because of this, I can speak to you now.
Now, this makes significant sense, especially since Qui-Gon Jinn is the character that is most associated on screen with talking about midichlorians. But then we see something really fascinating in the very next episode by Serenity, who is one of 5 Force priestesses.
What is this place?
All that surrounds us is the foundation of life, the birthplace of what Jewish science calls midichlorians, the foundation of what connects the living force and the cosmic force. When a living thing dies, all is renewed. Life passes from the living force into the cosmic force and becomes one with it. One powers the other. One is renewed by the other.
Now that final one is perhaps the most serious reference, and interestingly not by a Jedi or a Sith, someone who is sort of beyond the sort of Sith-Jedi conflict. In this weekend's new episode, The Siege of the Mandalorian, it could be that when we hear MCount, we are talking about Midichlorians. So here it is.
Replicated the results of the subsequent trials, which also resulted in catastrophic failure. There were promising effects for an entire fortnight, but then, sadly, the body rejected the blood. I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher MCount, though. I recommend that we suspend all experimentation. I fear that the volunteer will meet the same regrettable fate if we proceed with the transfusion. Unfortunately, we have exhausted our initial supply of blood. The child is small, and I was only able to harvest a limited amount without killing him. If these experiments are to continue as requested, we would again require access to the donor.
And hopefully that provides a sense of what's going on from what we saw in last season's episode, The Sin. And if this could be really interesting going forward, how midichlorians play into what's going on in The Mandalorian. So it should be interesting. We're only midway through the second season, and I want to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.